So, Mr. Dutton, tell me one thing. Did PM Modi's visit to Canada and the host of bilateral relations which were signed between India and Canada, did they take to Indo-Canada relations on a new trajectory of growth?
Absolutely. It was a tremendous visit. Prime Minister Modi was treated like a rock star throughout his time in Canada. The rapport between our two prime ministers was great. Prime Minister Harper, Canada's Prime Minister, accompanied PM Modi in Ottawa, Toronto, and in Vancouver. So it was a great visit, and it brings our relationship up to that next level.
How do the agreements, ranging from civil aviation, rail, to infrastructure, space, all in education, how these agreements are being played out, being executed, being followed up in Indo-Canada bilateral relationship?
Well, there were a number of agreements signed during the visit that build upon what is already a very strong partnership and relationship. You mentioned a number of fields where we concluded agreements, where now some of our educational institutions or agencies of our two governments are following up, but we also set the stage for a number of other areas of bilateral cooperation that ourselves and the Indian government across various different ministries in both Ottawa and Delhi are working very closely to achieve.
Sir, does Indo-Canadian Civilian Nuclear Agreement, does it carry the bilateral relation between these two countries to a new strategic partnership?
Well, I think that's an important component of our relationship, but it's one element of our strategic partnership. Okay. I think, it was a very important announcement during Prime Minister Modi's visit, the first delivery of or contractual agreement for the sale of uranium from Canada to India. Yeah. Significant under our nuclear cooperation agreement. But it's one element of a very comprehensive and diverse relationship. Okay. And all of those elements combined is what really brings it to a strategic partnership.
So is Canada satisfied with IAEA safeguards being guaranteed, being provided by India, and the tracking of fuel issues and all those things? Is it satisfied?
Well, Canada was the first Western country to finalize our administrative arrangements, which makes it very clear that it will be the IAEA that follows up on these issues. The IAEA is the organization that is active in tracking Canada's nuclear industry, so we're certainly satisfied that they can do the job working here in India.
Sir, what is the volume of trade between India and Canada? How do you see it in the light of these proactive foreign policy measures? The bilateral trade going up, and in what direction? How is it being played out between India and Canada, bilateral trade?
Well, I think both our governments want bilateral trade to go up. It's currently at $6.2 billion. And we're working on two important economic agreements. One is a bilateral investment treaty, and the other is a free trade agreement, comprehensive economic partnership agreement, that we feel will help boost our bilateral trade significantly. The trend has been very much on the up over the past few years, and we're trying to build upon that momentum through the nuclear deal, through other potential deals in the pipeline, to ensure that we're able to meet what we believe is a very high potential for bilateral trade.
Sir, is Canada interested in Make in India policy of the government of India?
Of course. Canadian companies look to be active in Make in India. Canada already has a number of companies that are making products here in India, not only for the Indian market, but for export as well. We look at the Prime Minister and the government's priorities to see where Canada can best fulfill fit in terms of the niche areas, and Make in India is an important one.